Okay, it's time to commit. 2024 is the year for prioritizing yourself. Begin your new smile journey with Byte, and you could start seeing results in just 2 to 3 weeks. Just order your at-home impression kit today for only $14.95 at Byte.com. Byte Clear aligners are doctor-directed and delivered to your door. Treatment costs thousands less than braces. Plus, they offer financing options, accept eligible insurance, and you can pay with your HSA FSA. Get 80% off your impression kit when you use code WONDERY at Byte.com. That's BYTE.com. Start your confidence journey today with Byte.
What makes a life a good one? Is it the adventure you have? Or the friends you find along the way? Maybe it's pursuing your passion while striving to protect, defend, and save what you believe in every single day. So what makes a life a good one? In the Coast Guard, we think it's all of the above and more. But you'll have to find out for yourself. Visit gocoastguard.com to learn more.
Welcome to our podcast, A Better Way Road. What choice will you make? What road will you take? I'm your very grateful host, Telda. I believe that there's a crisis of crime due in part to a crisis of choice. We come together on A Better Way Road to help in navigating the journey of choice making in a judgment-free lane. We're sharing the stories of people who are finding a better way. Now, we're not experts. Any advice or opinions are solely the pathways of our guests. So buckle up, pack some snacks, and let's begin our trip up A Better Way Road. And talk it out together about a better way, better way. Better way, better way. Better way, better way. I'm so proud of you, 'cause you choose a better. Okay, well, welcome to A Better Way Road with our very special, our vibrant, joyful Jaylnn Simmons. I got it. And she is with Joyful Noyze Management. And I want to welcome her. I'm over the moon to be with her today. Now, I talked with you about the resource fair that I attended a couple of weeks ago. Matter of fact, volunteered with. And we spoke, of course, the importance of being a volunteer, spending time and money and resources. The giving back is so important. But I should say that I met her music first. She had an area in which the percussions were sounding so beautiful, and the children were just drawn to it. And so I followed the children, and she will tell you more about that, but they were drumming and dancing and just skipping and hopping, and it was all I could do to contain myself, to not go over there and become a kid again. And then I thought, well, why am I containing myself? I want to let the little girl out. So that's what you did. You kind of just opened that up, and the music. So I'm going to just start off by saying, that our intersection here with the Better Way Road, we want to be able to give young people, everyone, options and choices. And I feel, as I'm sure that you do, when you find your passion and you're able to pour into that and live your life in accordance to those gifts and those passions, you are more likely to draw people to you that are like-minded, that share your goals, and more likely to succeed. So that's the intersection here. I'm going to begin with you. Spoke with me a little bit about how you first got involved with music, and you said it all began with your single mom who was just absolutely determined to get her children involved in something positive and powerful. Please expand on that for me.
Oh, absolutely. First of all, thank you for having me.
You are more than welcome.
And just really excited to share. My mother, she took us to a music store. So even though we came from a musical family on my father's side,
okay,
we had moved away, to Ohio, and she became a single mother, and she was determined to keep us actively engaged in something because we were young and didn't need that idle time. There was no social media and all that stuff back then. So idle time was idle time. And so she took us to the store one day, the music store, and said, pick an instrument. And we were looking at each other like, okay. And I chose a trumpet. And when I tell you, I tortured the whole household for about a good 3 months. And they were like, oh my gosh, this is terrible. And it wasn't until I was in middle school band class that I kept hearing the drum, the rhythm across the room on the other side. And it connected. I said, wait a minute. I know I don't know how to play this trumpet. But what I'm hearing, I can envision, and that makes sense to me.
So was it the actual rhythm of it? Was it something that, sort of vibrated or resonated within your body? Or was it the notes themselves that made sense? What was maybe the scientific connection that was made there?
Yeah, it was like, I was able to just kind of envision, even though I couldn't see what they were playing, I can envision what they were doing.
Wow.
And so I'm like, okay, now that makes sense to me. I think that's something I can do, right? And so I gave it a try and ended up in marching band in high school. And, it was very unpopular, to have young ladies playing drums. And, it was a challenge,
wow.
just to be present. But again, God opened that door for me.
Wow.
And he taught me how to sight read and all of that. So that the guys could not deny my entrance into the drum line because
you were good.
Yeah, God opened the door. I mean, they even wanted a standoff. And I'd repeat everything that they did.
Wow.
And they were like, wow, okay. Well,
so they actually tried to
challenge you. We got to let her ride. Oh, yeah, they tried.
And failed.
God did it.
God did it. Well, it's funny. And just a quick side note, I remember my freshman year of high school, I played trombone. And I was the only girl that had ever, played. But really, I'll just start with the trombone and got some resistance, but just like you said, just got really good at it, really comfortable with it. And folks can't deny you if you have a skill set and you're sounding good with it. They sort of stepped aside with that. So I like the fact that we're both first and groundbreakers in our musical.
Power.
Hey, there
High
you
five.
go. Pow.
Pow.
But you also, you talked about how your church was involved as well. Matter of fact, you said you met a very young, a 12-year-old John Legend as he was kind of, making his way in the world. Tell me about that.
Yeah, we were all just kids in the community, back then. And Arlen Parr Tolliver, he was the minister of music at St. John Missionary Baptist Church. And he was always, and he still is, very passionate about the youth and about the arts and things of that sort. So he put together this community choir.
Wow.
And he kept us busy, which that was up my mom's alley, So we would travel and we would sing with the community choir. And John, he was a part of that as well. Like, we were just all kids that had these gifts and needed to channel them somewhere. And we did some pretty amazing things.
That's wonderful.
During that time. So, definitely felt very blessed to be a part of that. That was also a very strong foundation.
Sure. And I as we talked before, you said it was actually music was a way of coping for you as well.
Absolutely. It's an outlet. Everybody has their go-to. You know what I mean?
Yes.
For some people it's shopping. For some people it's sports, shooting hoops. Like, for me, I kind of needed access at any time. And I could do that through music. Whether it was listening to music and something that would soothe, my soul and just like really, pour into my spirit, or, creating, like I've been writing a long time, but I never shared it.
Wow.
That was my outlet. That was my way of, I was a silent sufferer, but I still had this go-to. Like, God literally gave this to me because he knew that I needed it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And the fact that you were able to just kind of throw yourself into that. And I love the part, and we'll talk a little bit more about that, the sharing part. We get in our private world, and that's where the growth and the development and the confidence comes from. And so when you share that, it becomes a gift. You give so much of yourself with that.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk a little bit about how you have extended that to the community, and particularly to children. But you went on to, and ironically, just got a call from your alma mater,
Yes.
Central State, and
Central State University,
yes,
HBCU.
Yes, I love how you said that. At that point you made a shift. You changed from band to choir because it's hot. It's hot out there.
Yeah, I was not going to be in those temperatures.
Exactly. So you made that you made that shift wisely, but still very, very much involved with music. So tell me about kind of your transition in your early years there at Central State.
Okay, so at Central State, my freshman year, I was just trying to find my way. Adapting to being around people from literally all over the world.
Wow.
And just finding out, where you fit. How do you, the life and school balance. Now I'm on my own and I have to, set times for this. Okay, dinner is only at this time, only at, you know what I mean?
Right.
So, but it was an amazing experience because it allowed me to just really focus in and learn more about myself. When you have parents around saying, okay, pick up those clothes, okay, do this, do that. And then when that's not there,
right, and
you still have to function from day to day, and there's some accountability because now you're paying for it.
Right.
That's a different mindset.
Yes. Yes.
And so it was not until my sophomore year, and again, God led me to just simply try out for the choir. I'd never tried out for anything.
Oh my gosh.
I was like, oh my, and I was a major introvert. I was really quiet.
Wow.
And I was like, oh my God, I have to go into this room with all these great vocalists and sing a song, and the only thing in there is a piano. I'm like, oh my gosh. And God was like, come on, I need you to just get through it. You're fine. And I'm like,
exactly.
And so, yeah. And I'll kind of digress. When I was in elementary school, they tested everybody for perfect pitch. I was the only kid in the entire building that had perfect pitch. I didn't know what that meant back then.
My goodness.
Like, I get it now because I hear differently.
Wow.
I can hear harmonies. I can hear, like, everything is very intricate.
You hear on a whole different level.
I do. Like, I hear orchestras. Like, I can hear it's crazy what goes on up here. It's like, oh my gosh.
Wow. So you are a musical sommelier.
I like that. What does this mean?
I just one who perfects how they swirl the wine around and they, sift the bouquet, sniff the bouquet of it. You're an expert vocally and didn't even know it until someone tested you for that.
I hardly knew.
Yeah. But that's one, again, that another piece to the puzzle that led to, to that. And so from that audition, and of course, the blessing of having had that experience with your choir, you moved on to say that you did a recording with the Cincinnati, Ohio Pops Orchestra.
Yeah, the Cincinnati Pops Orchestra.
Yes.
So I was a part of the tour choir.
Oh, okay.
And so that was a smaller group of us that got to travel, and we would go to churches and do concerts. And I mean, it was really booming back then.
Wow.
And so, yes, and it was under the direction of Dr. Henry Caldwell.
Wow.
Yes, he was our choral director, and he was absolutely amazing. He trained us, yeah.
And see, again, I have this vision in my mind that your single mom took you took the family, picked out an instrument. You got good at what you were doing. There with the sidestep of the trumpet, which was necessary.
It was necessary.
But then again, this single mom daughter in college, single mom, in front of someone who is profoundly skilled in that direction.
Mm-hmm.
I think sometimes we feel like we have to do it all. I think as parents, we just need to get the direction, get them started in the right direction.
Yeah. And she had 3 of us.
Yes, it was. You took the words right out of my mouth.
My sister and my brother. It was 3 of us.
Yes,
and I was the middle child.
There you go. So, and again, if you don't know, but there are people who, if you let that need be known, you can get directed. Get in that right direction. But lest I digress, because as a result of that, Pop's intervention there, you ended up being a Grammy nominee.
Yes, our choir was nominated for a Grammy for that project.
Wow.
And it was absolutely amazing. Like, we performed with Jennifer Holliday.
Oh.
And, all of these amazing Lou Rawls and, Cab Calloway.
Wow.
It was classy.
Oh, my. And how large was the choir?
There was probably, of course, it was in combination with a couple of other universities. Sure. So I would say there was probably maybe 200 voices.
Wow.
Somewhere around there.
So you went from that single microphone and a piano and that one voice to blending that harmoniously with 200 other who were probably all afraid and anxious as they auditioned as well.
It was absolutely amazing.
Oh my God! So Grammy nominated first, just right out the box, just your first go around.
So that's why they're called the Grammy nominated Central State University Chorus.
Yes,
so
yes.
It was an honor to be a part of that. We were a part of that, So.
Oh my God! And then like a full circle moment, literally moments before we went on the air here, you got a call from Central State, and they've invited you to be a part of their homecoming experience.
Yes.
To continue to share that. And that's no coincidence for you to get that call right at this time and them saying, oh, we still love you. We still need you. Can you please come?
Absolutely. It's something else.
Yes,
I'm telling you.
yes.
We can't make this stuff
No,
up.
you cannot.
You saw it, right?
I was right here with it. And I love that. And a quote that I wrote down from you said, 1,000% God's favor, which I absolutely appreciate.
Absolutely.
So we shifted from there to you as you returned to church. You went home, and I'm guessing this was on or about graduation, and discovered that your church needed a drummer.
Yes.
And they did not have one. So, and I will let you take that, but you said that your church sponsored you or sent you to the Gospel Music Workshop of America, GMWA, which is, they hold the largest gospel convention in America. They saw your potential early on and sent you to work with them.
They did.
Yes.
They wanted me to just go learn something. They pushed education. There were a lot of educators,
Yes.
in the church, and they were like, well, she doesn't know how to really play.
Right.
Like, I was learning the basics.
Right.
Keeping everything real simple. And they were like, let's just send her. And I was there for a whole week. They sent me 2 years in a row.
Wow.
And within those 2 years, those 2 conferences, I ended up doing a live recording with the Women of Worship.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was, again, just the exposure. And I'm going to, pause here a quick moment just to say, young people, someone is looking out of the corner of their eye. You are valued. You are loved. You are appreciated. And get yourself in a position where you can be seen by people who want to help. A lot of times people see something in us that we don't see within ourselves, but I need you to know in this moment, in this time, you are loved and you are valued and you are important. So that's kind of what happened. Someone saw you out of the corner of their eye. They sent you not 1, but 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
And then you went on to do a live recording. And I want to say it was with a 3,000 member recording. So then you became a national recording artist.
Yes.
So tell me about, and you said Men of Purpose were involved. And
yes.
Tell me about that.
So I wanted to correct that. It was
Yes.
the Men of Purpose, which is the men's division.
Yes.
And also the mass choir. So
Oh,
it was
wow.
2 different recordings, which was absolutely amazing.
Oh,
and,
my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh my!
Yeah.
And so,
And then the full circle moment was with the women years ago as a songwriter.
as a songwriter,
So, yeah.
oh, and to see again those tiny seeds planted, you had begun to sort of nurture that, and you knew you sort of had that skill level, but again, didn't know when and how it might be used. But you went ahead and just you use that musical sketch pad to kind of lay some things out for you. So, but yeah, how did that feel? Now someone had to sort of tap you on the shoulder and say, "Excuse me, did you know that you're a national recording artist now?"
They had to tell me. I thought I was playing for a concert. And they were just like, okay, Jaylnn, do you know what you did? I was like, yeah, I played the song. They was like, no, these are not seats that people just get.
Right.
You just did 2 live national recordings in the same week.
Wow.
I was like, okay. And they were like, oh my gosh, this girl,
Right. But see, again, you were humble enough. You weren't just, oh, well, I blah, 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 blah. They had to sort of bring you into focus with what your skill level was at that point.
Yeah.
Live recordings. This isn't no do-over. Live.
And one was
Wow.
on video. So
Oh my gosh. Oh my
can't
gosh.
play that off.
No, nope, you cannot. Especially like I said, back in the day, we didn't, there's a lot of editing and photoshopping and those kind of things. Now, back then, it was what it was.
It was what it was. Absolutely.
Oh, well, that brings us to where, sort of where we intersected. You have turned that into a connection with music for children in the community. And you said you started your business when you moved to Indianapolis in 2001. So how was that? How did you make those choices? What was your kind of your passion and purpose at that time?
Absolutely. So I moved here to work at a private Christian school.
Okay.
And I was there for the year. I poured into those youth. During that time, I was also doing drum lessons, and things before I'd even started a business. Because people were always asking me like, hey, do you work with kids? Do you work with kids?
Wow.
But before I moved here to Indianapolis, I was, just kind of working in the community in Ohio.
Oh, okay.
Right. I didn't
Okay.
have a business or anything.
Oh, you just were volunteering.
I was just always passionate about helping.
That's wonderful.
And being a part of that choir, that was a community where it was just understood, just look out for each other. Don't worry about money and all that kind of stuff. Look out for each other. We have each other, and we got in a lot of really good laughs. Like we were the silliest group of kids, but we were so talented. I mean, the harmony was ridiculous.
Oh my God. So that like-mindedness and, like I said, people, you sort of found each other. And had that outlet for them, even, like I said, even on an informal level, you knew that there was something there.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh.
Absolutely.
And so then you made the choice to, to turn that into a business. What was your what was your thinking there?
I knew I needed an entity at some point because I was starting to get too many calls and
yes.
And you got to be able to write that stuff off
yes.
when you're traveling, when you're investing.
Absolutely.
And that was another thing is God just had me investing in things and I didn't know why yet. But I've always learned to just be obedient. I'm like, okay, Lord, it's me and you. If you're saying this, even though you see this is a major sacrifice, I trust you. And every time I would follow through and get things, then I would get a random call, from people. I don't even know how they got my number. It's just like word of mouth. Like, I guess they were talking about me only I didn't know that.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
And so, because I believe in operating in excellence.
Oh, I love that.
I don't care if it's 2 people or if it's 500 people. That will never be compromised because we care about people and their experiences.
Yes. I love that. Operating in excellence.
Absolutely.
Well, okay then.
That's what God would have us to do, right?
And that spilled right over onto the children that you were working with. Let's see, I'm trying to think that you kind of parlayed that into a community wellness through the arts. Yes. And I know that you do conduct workshops and seminars and those kind of things. But connect the dots for me on the wellness aspect of that.
Absolutely. So because I've been working with at-risk youth for really over 25 years, there's always something missing in the area of, not having to perform, but connect. Like, where's this connection? We're missing connections here.
Okay.
Yeah, you can play drums, but you can't have a simple conversation and give eye contact or show empathy or, you know what I mean? Things of that
Yes.
sort. And so, once again, every day is me and Jesus. I promise you, every day. And so one day I said, okay, how can I reach more than one child at a time? Like, I enjoy the drum lessons, and I've got hundreds of students, that have come through me over the years,
Absolutely.
But how can I reach more than one or two at a time? Like, what can that look like? Because my heart is pulling for that, and I promise you, God, he just gives me little visions, like a little glimpse. And I'm like, okay,
Wow.
I have to develop programs that include any and everybody.
Wow.
I mean, he made it
Wow.
clear as day. And I'll tell you a really cool story.
Please do.
So, I was ear hustling in the music store one day. Because, I like to know what's going on, what's in the know, And so I overheard this man say, it's illegal to even do this protocol without being trained in this. Like, you can't even do this without being a facilitator. And then he mentioned Remo Health Rhythms. And I was like, who's to say I can't? And so I went home and researched it, right? I looked into it, and I connected with one of the trainers of Remo Health Rhythms in Cincinnati, Ohio.
Oh.
Not even here.
Wow.
Right? And God was like, I need you to get that training. And so it was something I was trying to get registered, and I'm like, they're saying there's no more room. He was like, call. I'm like, okay, well, let me call. And it turns out I connected directly with the trainer, and she was like, oh, we will make room for you. At this time, I was already doing some workshops, and things of that sort, but I hadn't put any label to it per se. And so I went there, got the training, even got advanced strategies training with the founder of Remo Health Rhythms, which is Dr. Barry Bittman. And Arlene De Silva, she was the trainer. She's over the Cincinnati Music and Wellness Coalition.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. I had no idea.
Wow.
It's a whole nother world.
Man.
And so in connecting with her and getting that facilitation, they were so excited about me getting it so
right,
quickly.
Exactly.
I mean, she has literally taken me under her wing. She was like, Jaylnn, I'm blown away at what you've done.
Wow.
Like, every time I call her, some great news. And so I'm, my nonprofit, Indie Music and Wellness,
Yes.
Is a member of that coalition, which is in many countries and things of that sort.
Wow.
But it connects music and medicine.
That's
Right?
okay.
So
There you go.
that's the evidence-based
There you go.
platform. So there's benefits for at-risk youth. There's benefits for the senior community. Alzheimer's patients. Like, if you type in Remo Health Rhythms benefits, there's plenty.
A plethora.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah. Absolutely.
Listen, again, it came with you beginning to, well, first of all, no coincidence to overhear that conversation, looking into it, and then going a step further and calling. A lot of times people will allow things to get, let's say they said no other, they're full. Let me just move on to something else. Something said to you, and you followed up with that.
Yeah.
What was the worst thing that was going to happen? They were going to say, no, we are full, but it opened up a whole nother door for you. So,
Absolutely.
Oh, I love you. You have a quote here that you said, God had the vision for everything I learned. I just love that. It was his vision. And then again, your tenacity to learn and have the desire to follow through with that.
Yeah, I'm simply a willing vessel.
Yes.
I'm just being obedient.
Wow.
And that's every day. If he says do it, I don't even question
Right.
it. Even if it makes absolutely no sense.
You're going.
It doesn't have to because
Wow.
it's God.
You're going.
His ways are not our ways. His thoughts are not our thoughts. So it's like, okay, let's go.
Let's go. I absolutely love that. And I'm glad you touched on that because in the very beginning we talked about sort of the science and the sort of the STEM, or some people say STEAM with the architectural. So being able to connect children at that level, and they may not understand or know, but they are being exposed and have that experience of being able to experience that.
Yes.
So that's wonderful to me. I have a note here, another full circle moment, which seem to happen to you a lot.
It does.
The 50th anniversary of the National Songwriters a convention, I assume.
The GMWA?
Yes, you said there were 5,000 submissions, and you submitted, and there were 30 selected, and you were one of them. And this was your debut, your writing debut.
I had never submitted a song.
Oh,
like,
my. So,
and a friend told me, like, you should submit this to GMW. I was like, what? What does that mean?
Wow.
And yes, I was extra nervous pressing send on that one.
Yes.
I was like,
Before it went, but again, over, was it 4,970 people that didn't. And you were selected to do that. So and right at their 50th anniversary, I think.
Yeah, and it was debuted by the Women of Worship on CME TV. It streamed worldwide.
Wow.
And it was absolutely
wow.
amazing.
And what was that you were saying about being introverted? I'm trying to, look back on my notes and clarify that.
I'm shy.
Well, I tell you what, if you are, you sure know you know how to push it, to put that in the background and bring those gifts forward. So,
absolutely.
We're going to sort of close. And again, I don't want my words to be the last words. I want yours to be. But you talk specifically about working with our senior community.
Oh, yes.
Love that. Loneliness is real. And some of the things that you said, I'll let you expand, is bringing more purpose to their lives.
Yeah.
Bringing platforms that give them a reason, something to look forward to. Togetherness, and you have plans on beginning a senior community choir with performances. Tell me about that.
Absolutely. And I love my senior community.
Oh.
Right? Like that's my true love right there.
Oh.
Because they paved the way for us.
Yes.
They paved the way.
Yes.
We have to always honor that.
Yes. And they are, and I love that you said that you want them to be honored publicly. So through
Absolutely.
these performances, they will. So do you think you will just start with going into senior communities, or what might that look like?
Well, I'm connected. I'm actually on the board for All Senior Citizens Connect.
Oh.
With Vicki Peterson.
Okay.
And she has seniors. But then there's also local churches that have seniors. And so we'll just kind of start there. Get a nice start and kind of get
Sure.
an idea of what direction we can go with it.
Okay.
But, I envision them with gowns and tuxedos and making guest appearances and just really being loved.
Wow.
And supported by the community.
Yes. So whatever shadows they may be sort of tucked back into, or your time has passed, or you're no longer useful here, you are going to bring them into the broad daylight and the stage lights, and in a way that will honor and let them know how much they are cared for and loved.
Absolutely. Like I envision, we're in need of like transportation, like shuttles and things, because we want to make sure they're well taken care of.
Oh.
Like they don't have to keep begging their grandson,
Sure.
Can you please just pick me? No.
No.
if you're coming, hey, we all meet here. We'll shuttle you into downtown or wherever we're going. We want to lift the concern and the worry so that they can just enjoy feeling appreciated.
Wow.
Like they need that.
Yes. And just be.
They deserve that.
Yes. The many, 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 many years that, again, silently, most of them, that, they were the bridge, they were the ladder for so many others.
Yeah.
So that, and again, to allow that time and that space for that, it's just, that's to me. So I like how I'll kind of close on this. You said like-minded people. You said we are already in our purpose, and there's so much collaboration. So I love that we are already in our purpose part of that.
Yeah.
Is there a message perhaps you want to extend to the children or the youth that I pray are listening, or maybe grandma, granddad, someone is going to sit down with them and hear this?
Yeah, absolutely. So to the youth, everyone has purpose.
Yes.
Some have not discovered what that purpose is, but I encourage you to give things a try. If you see an instrument, don't be afraid to just touch it and try it. It's not about performance. It's not about perfection. It's not even about mistakes. None of that is relevant. So even in my workshops, there is no judgment. There is no performance base. There is no skill set. None of that is relevant. Wow. It's a safe space for anybody to create, and everyone will be supported.
Wow.
We teach that. So we're creating a new culture, with the youth and even with the seniors, that it's okay to give things a try and not be concerned with outcomes and things of that sort. Be present.
Wow.
Be present.
And enjoy the experience.
Enjoy the experience. Embrace the experience. There's always teachable moments. Be open to hear, because that could be the door that opens for you because you took the time to hear and listen.
Absolutely.
And now you can learn and grow.
Wow. And there's so much, again, connected, the math with the music, the eye-hand coordination, the social skills, the leadership, development. There's just so much that goes into that. And the fact that we all listen, the whole world listens with the same ears. That's
absolutely.
During that time the music is playing, we're all embraced in that. So you're not only connecting children from children to seniors, but from nation to nation.
Absolutely.
You're doing a wonderful work.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
You're doing a joyful work.
Come on, talk about it. Joyful Noyze. Come on, talk about it.
Oh my gosh! So let us know. Give us some contact information.
Absolutely.
For you.
Absolutely. So the best way to connect with me is on social media.
Okay.
So we've got a Facebook page for Joyful Noyze Management, and that's Noyze.
Okay.
And then the nonprofit is Indie Music and Wellness, and you can connect with us also on Facebook, with that as well.
Absolutely.
And we're actually doing a fundraiser right now. So I'll give you, for the programs that we want to be able to, it takes funding to be able to see this through, because it's not just a quick program.
Absolutely.
This is long term.
Oh.
So this is life altering for people. It's going to give them purpose.
Wow.
Right? And we're going to be connecting the youth with the seniors, and they'll be playing together. And, we can assign some younger seniors around 55, to do some check-ins with their, with their section leaders and things. So it's going to be a whole culture. And it's going to, prayerfully be year-round and then for years to come.
Sure.
And so if you want to give, we're actually set up on Give Butter, that platform.
Sure. And spell that.
GIVEBUTTER. It's a fundraising platform.
Excellent.
And you can text music and wellness to 53555, and it will text you, the link on how you can give and show you all of the information. But the work is being done.
Yes.
And we're not going to stop, but having that funding in place would allow us to make even more impact and even create jobs for more teaching artists so that we can really reach, above and beyond.
Wow.
We're doing it.
We're doing it. Many people are trying, but you all are doing it. And I cannot thank you. I go back to that moment when as the resource fair was getting underway, and I sort of heard this music in the background and sort of looked out of the corner of my eye, and the children, they were, and sometimes, you take children to those events and you sort of drag them kicking and screaming. There was a line wrapped around. They wanted to be a part of that. And the parents' faces even lit up like, oh, thank goodness. lives, you know.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, thank you for what you're doing. Thank you for what you are going to do. I'm so happy for the intersection that we had.
Absolutely.
And it's just, you know, it's one of those things where there's so many people doing what you're doing. Your talent was recognized early. Some people may not know that or get that developed until later in life, but please, please, please find your passion, find what excites you, let someone else know about that so they can get you in the right direction. So that's what we're all about. And I always kind of close by saying, until we see each other again, I urge you to merge onto a better way road. So
all right. Thank you so much.
Thank you so
That's
much.
amazing.
Much success to you. And I will be checking in with you a little bit later.
Thank you.
Thank you.